Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Indriyani and I would like to present it about globalization. And I will start from the definition of globalization. What is globalization? Globalization is process of change derived from the words global and lizations. It has the meaning of a word and sequential process. Today, with the development of technology, communication, and transportation, globalization is inevitable. Globalization is a process that pushes various aspects of human life to be unlimited. Between one individual and individual, group to group, country to country, don't have geographic and cultural boundaries. This is driven by several factors, but because of technological advances, the acceleration and convenience of transportation, as well as access to knowledge which is now much deeper than previous generations. Globalization can also be interpreted as a progress in terms of communication, kind, technology, lifestyle, and so on, which have also undergone significant change in this era. In terms of advances in communication and technology, for example, the world doesn't seem to have a wall with a smartphone. They can connect anyone, anywhere. With the existence of these electronic objects, the world doesn't seem the only hand. Communication is no longer limited by space, distance, and time. Without realizing in the flow of globalization has become a mood place for change in the progress of human civilization that have occurred so rapidly. And then characteristics of globalization. The first, there is openness in all aspects of life. In this era of globalization, there is a freedom in opinion, voice, new talk, and argument made by written and oral. The second is there is an increase in cultural relation in the world. This globalization can strengthen the bonds of friendship and increase a high sense of tolerance between nations through advanced technology, namely the emergency mobile phones, fax machines, satellites, telegrams, magazines, newspaper, internet, computer, laptops, and others. In this way, we can know history, can understand about the cultural history of other countries, which can be in the form of films about history, opera music, fashion, lifestyle that are told in the mass media and so on. And next, the factor causing globalization. The first, development of science and technology. Globalization cannot be from science and technology. With the rapid development of science and technology, humans can simultaneously create facilities that facilitate work and daily activities. And the second is the dependence of a country on another countries. Developing countries really need goods and services from developed countries to build their countries. Likewise, developed countries need to establish communication relations with other countries in order to export their products or goods. And then impact of globalization. In general, the impacts of globalization are divided are two, negative and positive impact. This will differentiate how each individual should reach. This impact will also affect various fields from economy, political, cultural to social aspects. And positive impact of globalization is first, advances in science and technology. Science and technology continue to develop rapidly in obtaining information. Not only that, it is also easier for the world community to communicate with someone from other distant countries. And the second, progress in the economic sector. The advancement of science and technology by globalization also bring out variety of sophisticated facilities. This sophisticated transportation can facilitate export and import transactions between countries. Easy trade transactions make the economy of the countries involved even stronger. And third, political progress. Globalization has a positive impact on politics between countries. This is due to the openness of the political thinking of government officials around the world. Each country can understand each other's political views. And then fourth, progress in the education sectors. The era of globalization has made a number of developed countries provide scholarship for students from developing countries. Not only that, now studying abroad is getting easier without a complicated process, so that it will accelerate the process of cultural exchange between students. And then negative impact of globalization. First, society turns into individualist. Information and communication technology, which continues to experience development, creates a new innovation called smartphone and the internet. These two items make people no longer care about the real world people around them. And the second is westernization. The entry of Western culture to Indonesia had a negative impact on its society. For example, there is promiscuity and lack of respect from children towards their parents, to the more extreme use of illegal drugs. And then, example of globalization. First, there is international cooperation, and then the existence of an airplane and the emergence of mobile phones, internet, laptops, and the like as means of communications. The existence of online transportation service, online movies, online shop, etc. So, the conclusion is globalization is inevitable. What we can do is adapt it to moral and religious life in Indonesia. If we can only adapt to the era of globalization without filtering it with Pancasila culture, it will only be in vain and will actually decline in particular. And maybe just this I can say. Wabillahi taufik wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.